Let there be no doubt. I am one giant Muppet. Chris Courtney here, New Pragmatic. It is Thanksgiving Eve. Thanksgiving Eve here in the continental United States. Actually, I think if you probably are connected with the United States in some way, shape, or form, you don't have to actually be on the continent. You could be in Alaska. It's Thanksgiving there. Hawaii, Thanksgiving there. You could be like Rebecca, over hanging out in Israel, probably aware of the Thanksgiving festivities. So good to have you all along. Got a lot of work this morning. Got Eve checking in. Got Shane checking in. Got Rebecca checking in. I am had a great AMA last night. Several of you dropped in questions. Eve dropped in the winner of the night, in my opinion, asking about how we manage our overwhelming imposter syndrome, basically. And the thing that I always go back to is, for designers, it's you versus you, okay? And I'm picking a lot of that up from running. I do distance running, and to be honest with you, I've never sniffed at the podium. I never will. But that doesn't stop me from running. I am competitive with the people that are around me. And I think design is the same way. There are some all-star designers out there, and you may not consider yourself to be one of them. That's okay. Not every job requires an all-star designer. In fact, there's many jobs out there, many jobs that are better suited for you than they would be for an all-star designer, because they require a special combination of skills that the natural designer might not have. It might be something related to design plus some X factor that you bring to the table. So I think that I think you're all stars. But anyway, that was the distilled version of the response that I gave Eve. Is basically, it's you versus you. Measure your own growth. If you're making strides and moving forward, if you can point to something that you've learned in the last few weeks, you're doing all right in my book. If you're sitting still and you feel like you're just stagnant, well, talk to me. Let's figure out a way to get you moving forward. I know firsthand what it's like to do the same thing over and over again every day. That's one reason why I got out of the daily grind of media, because it was like every day I had to release something. It was like feeding a beast. It was like throwing work constantly into the chute of society. News design is tough because people are just constantly consuming, and it doesn't have a shelf life. Like you do some amazing illustration, you throw it in. It is as if it never existed 24 hours later, and that's rough. So I definitely understand it. Be sure to give yourself some grace, give yourself some yeah. Fonzo is checking in. He noticed my daily stand-up comment about After Effects. Back to the Eve discussion, though. Give yourself some grace. Think about you versus you, not you versus somebody else. If anything, admire other people's work. Look at other people's work and go, wow, okay, how did they do that? Not, wow, why can't I do that? You can do anything. You can do any of this stuff. And if there's any way I can help you get there, just ask. If there's something if there's a video I've got, or if there's curriculum I've got, I'm happy to take you through that. If there's not, say, hey, Chris, raise your hand. Say, hey, Chris, how do you do it? Tejal was asking about parallax, and I was like, I personally don't use a lot of parallax, but why don't we figure that out together? So, we're working on some parallax stuff. I'm super excited to work further with her on that. It's all about where you're trying to go, really. It's not about me. It's about you. Fonzo, though, he cracks me up. He's, I was editing, so later today, I will drop a new video. It's about 15 minutes long on prototyping with Figma, and I've done some prototyping videos before where I show you how to do After Effects and stuff, but this is like a front to back flow and using different sorts of timing animations and when to use delays and really happy with it. But I got right to the end of it, and my entire computer just like like turned off, just like I'm done. And it's really interesting to me. Like I had pushed my computer to the absolute edge, and what did it? This computer has never crashed down unless I'm using After Effects in some way. If I'm using After Effects, that's the only thing that's going to melt this machine. So yeah, good times, Adobe. Thanks. But let's get into it, man. We've got a lot of stuff to look at today, and I'm always excited every morning. This is why I get out of bed. Let's do it. If I can, yeah, I get out of bed so I can find Eve's priority guides. And priority guides, for those of you that aren't necessarily in the UX program, priority guides are, it's kind of like outlining. Like if you were to sit down and say, I'm going to write a big essay, you'd probably like write out the big themes that were going to be in the essay, and then version 2 of it you would start to flesh. You might write a paragraph with each of them. In version 3 you would continue that adding of detail. Priority guides work in a very similar fashion. So Eve is basically putting together her homepage here for her Fresh Market project, and she's kind of set up. Okay, so this is the homepage, and the goal is she's got a goal here: get users to understand and start using the Fresh Market meal subscription plans. She's going to have a tagline. There's going to be a subheading. There's going to be a call to action button. She's going to have a section on how it works. She's going to have a menu preview. She's going to show meal plan options. She's going to have something about sustainability, and then a footer. These things are all being determined by the user research that she's performed. So when we come over, she's got a few notes here, and I think this is really helpful. Even though in the assignment I'm not necessarily looking for, okay, what's the image here, what's the button look like, but it says healthy eating without the hassle. Fresh Market delivers affordable, fully prepared, ready-to-eat meals to you. Start eating healthy. So start eating healthy is going to be like a button, and it's going to click to the plans page. Above fold and below fold is always interesting to me. The screen does not fold, but I get it. It's something we actually bring over from newspapers. The story is above the fold in the rack. But people do scroll, so don't feel like you got to cram it all up there. Although my first website, oh my god, my first website was so above the fold, like, oh, it's got to all be no scrolling. It's like, didn't understand. I just did not understand. So you're going to pair this with the hero unit image. By the way, that whole not understanding thing, I remember that when I'm looking at your work. I'm like, yeah. So if there's anything I try to do, I try to extend grace to you when you're getting started, because I remember how absurdly bad at this I was. And I'd had like a decade of print experience. I had a decade of fonts and color and whatnot. And it's like, yeah. And hi, Fonzo, laughing at me. So how it works, you're going to choose your plan. And this is, she's saying she's going to pair each of these with some sort of illustration or icon. So how it works, she's going to, you choose your plan, and then these are numbered, so I'm guessing that like this is like, it's probably going to be like a H3 or an H2, and then like select a serving size and number of meals per week that works for you and your family. Choose your meals. We deliver or you pick up, whichever works for you each week. Delivery available 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Keep eating healthy, hassle-free. Easily skip a week or cancel anytime. So this is like a 4-tiered thing. The menu says choose through a variety of dishes. choose from a variety of dishes, maybe. Quality deli sandwiches and garden fresh salads. 6 images. Each menu option image is clickable and opens an exitable info card, so like a modal or pop up. But this is, it's a card, and you got option to some information with it. You've got a CTA here, and this one will take you to the menu page. And this is very important. I think it's very important to realize that when you're building like a home page for anything, it should take you different places. I've seen a number of home pages over the year. Like over the years, I've seen try now, try now, try now, try now, buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now, get started, get started, get started, get started, and that, this is like fishing. When you, and not fishing in terms of like the spam email that tries to steal things, but like fishing, like casting your line. When you cast the same hook out, the fish get used to that, and eventually they're not dumb. They're just not extremely smart, but they know when there's nothing to, that's not food. It's not that they know that that's a hook. They just know that that's not food. But when you throw a different lure out in the water, they suddenly look at that one different. They go, well, that's not food, but that might be. Okay, this is the same idea. All right. If start eating healthy didn't get their attention, perhaps this call to action would. And what's going to be in there? Well, you're going to get into that in the microcopy chapter, which is following up. But I like that one's going to the plans page, another one's going to the menu page. You're really pushing for interaction. You want them to interact with you. You have a really good shot of getting them, and if not getting them, making an impression on them that could build into something later. You have that opportunity if you're taking them and getting and showing them around. All right, it's kind of similar to somebody showing around their house. Nobody like stops in the living room and goes, "All right, do you love it?" Most people want to see, like, can you show me one of the bedrooms? Maybe the kitchen? Can I see? Do you have a deck out back? People want to look around the house before they make a decision on it. So plans. Choose a plan that fits your family best. Try new meals each week and keep your favorites on repeat. Easily skip a week or cancel at any time. So regular, each meal serves 2. Meal option cards with toggles that synthesize and organize this information. I'm not sure what synthesize means in this context, but I'm fine. So it says here 2 meals per week, 3 meals per week, 4 meals. So you got the breakdown per meal per week. So you can see here, $4 delivery fee, free delivery. So she's trying to sell somebody into not choosing that cheapest option. If you spend, and I like the price point here, like $36 plus 4, that gets you to 40. But you can get another meal for $5 more, basically, and then you get the free delivery. So I like that. I like that price point mentality. That's really smart. And little fine text there. The delivery fee is not a tip. Regular, each meal serves 4. And this is important because we talked about transparency, and we talked about the transparency that your user is expecting, wanting, desiring. So I think that is really speaking to your specific user, Eve. So this one, you've got a select. I'm kind of interested, if I select one of these, should that take me to that page? But the detail here is good. A healthy earth starts with a healthy you. Learn more. So this is like an about page, and then you've got the footer. Eve, I think overall this is this is on target. I think there was a word, yeah, choose through, choose from. I think that's really the only like glaring thing that I saw. Obviously, there's some questions on, okay, so what is the call to action? Also, you have like the plans page, and this is where we begin to getting into okay, what are the details that are on this particular page, but you have the plans kind of mapped out already. This plans page is going to be an extension or a growth of this section of your homepage. So you have a lot of the groundwork done. And I was mentioning this to Luigi. The only thing that you have to look out for when you go from the home page to a secondary detail page, like on the menu or plans, is you don't want to surprise them with unexpected information. So if I clicked on, for instance, if I clicked on plans here and it linked to the About Us page, that would be jarring. I would have to ask myself, well, why? This isn't about plans at all. This is the About page. Or if you had a lot of content here on the plans page that wasn't really represented on the home page. I'm looking for greater detail about the plans page. I want the overview up here so that when I arrive here, I kind of know what I'm expecting to see. And as you have it broken down, you've got a short FAQ. This is basically everything that we've seen up here. I'm guessing you're just going to have a bit more detail, maybe some more photos. That is the progression that any user is expecting. So I think that you've done the job there. Same thing for on the menu. Obviously, cart and checkout. We've talked about that. Cart. Anytime somebody adds something to the cart, it's picking up information from over here on plans or over here on menu. So cart is really just a distillation, and checkout is largely form based. So I'm either picking up information that's already been entered into a form, or they're entering in new information. I'm not presenting a ton of information to them. I am, however, presenting ways to submit that information, and that is where the microcopy comes in. So, Eve, I feel like you're well on your way. Minor adjustments overall. So let's go ahead and shut that one down. We have cover letters from Rebecca, and Rebecca is in the middle of that hiring push. She's looking at a couple of positions, and I went ahead and pulled up the two job listings here. This is nice. It's a UX strategist position, and I always think it's important to go back when possible and look at not only the cover letters, but the jobs that the cover letters are associated with, to see if they are in alignment with one another. Because it's not enough to just write a cover letter. You have to find a way to attach it to the company that you're applying. Otherwise, you're just kind of like spamming cover letters out. So let's see here. It says, Dear SodaStream hiring manager. Hi, I'm Rebecca, a UX designer with a passion for minimalistic design that makes people's lives better. I think I would just go with makes lives better, or focused on making lives better. People's lives. I mean, it's one and the same. SodaStream's initiative to revolutionize the way people drink is so much bigger than just sparkling liquids. You're directly in solving urgent environmental and health problems that are growing all around the world. It's interesting because I think that you've done a good thing highlighting those. This is more of a transitional question. How do you transition between, I'm talking about me now, I'm going to talk about you. Hi, I'm Rebecca, a UX designer with a passion for minimalistic design that makes that makes lives better. Um, SodaStream, um, I think you know, I look at this and I think it's something like um, Soda SodaStream appears to share that same passion with their initiative to uh, revolutionize the um, way people drink. But it's so much bigger than just sparkling liquids. Like there's some like you're like me transition that we need there. You've got the right concepts though. Like I'm interested in minimalistic design. I'm familiar with SodaStream. They are a very minimalist sort of product. So I see the alignment there. I have experience running e-commerce companies that have sold directly to big box retailers like Sam's Club and Home Goods, and I grew up in the retail wholesale manufacturing world. I've also worked extensively with Zulily.com, and I've seen SodaStream's products featured there under under distributor brands. I wish they'd include more lifestyle product images. Um, they're they're crucial for e-commerce because we need our users to feel they're touching and experiencing our products as if they were physically touching them in the store. Um, I've also worked extensively with Zulily.com, where I've seen SodaStream products featured. I wish, like, would shorten it up. Maybe products featured the under distributor brands isn't really that important. What is important is you have a take. You have a take on how to better position um, because of your experience with Zulily. So I would adjust that just a bit. So up top, it's about transition. Down below, it's a little less on why you have this experience. You've seen their products. You believe making an adjustment would help. Um, I'm very confident that my background in strategic product design would be fully leveraged in this UX lead role. After 9 years of guiding physical products to the marketplace, I moved my attention to solving UX problems for businesses while working with teams of varying sizes along the way. I love people, and I rely heavily on every nuance in conversation with our end users to design highly usable, simple, intuitive products. Um, I would adjust this. Um, I would adjust this to something along the lines of I value conversations with our end users to guide that is to guide to create simple and intuitive products. So um, I I rely heavily on I um, I just said it and I need to be typing. Um, that's one reason why I don't like the PDFs because I want to type this out. Um, so instead of I love people and I rely on every nuance, I highly value conversations with our end users um, to help to guide the design of simple and intuitive products. I'm really excited about this I'm really excited about this opportunity. Is it possible to discuss the position further? And do are you looking to fill it before the end of the year? I think that your ending does a good job of making this evergreen. and we've talked about this, and I've talked about this with other students. When you have this where you're making it more evergreen, you're trying to protect yourself from them opening this like 3 months from now, and you've made some reference to, can we talk the week after Thanksgiving, or can we talk before Christmas, and that like that event is come and gone. Um, but I do think that I think the bigger issues are punching this last bit up, to make it how you value conversation, to punch, to shorten this. I've seen SodaStream's products featured there. Remove that. Put the focus on how your experience leads you to be able to make suggestions about how their products are being positioned online, and then a bit of a transition here so that you align. Hey, SodaStream, you're like me, or like SodaStream. Um, that passion's reflected in SodaStream's initiative. Um, so there's like 2 or 3 spots where I think a further edit could be made, and in this particular instance, I know enough about SodaStream as a company that I feel like you have identified that you could be a fit here. Like here it says 7+ years experience designing. You talk about 9+ years in product design. So I think you're kind of positioning, like, I have a lot of product design experience and now I do UX. So I think that's smart. It makes them have to. You're making them have to say no. Like, yeah, I've got a lot of experience. It might not all be in web and mobile, but it is in e-commerce. And like there's a thread that you're pulling on there that I think is very smart. Let's move over here to I guess I jumped to the second one first. It looks like we got a question in here as well. Oh no, the live stream died and resurrected. I hope I didn't lose a lot of that. I do apologize, Shane and Fonzo. Everybody's hanging out. We've got a windstorm going on right now, so that may be playing a role. I do apologize if we had a momentary outage. So Rebecca's here. I'm Rebecca, a naturally nice person and a UX designer with a strong background in business and cool. Thanks, Fonzo. So I'm Rebecca, a naturally nice person and a UX designer with a strong background in business and a passion for customer service. Employee management is a hot industry right now. While many workforce management products focus on incentivizing employees for better output, NICE focuses on solving the real problem by taking the incredible load we push on our employees. We lower the stress levels so they can be focused on the work they were hired to do. I've learned that humans have an innate desire to contribute and be productive, and leveraging that natural need is better than any external incentive. I am confident that my background in product design and working with teams all over the world could be fully leveraged in this UX design role. After spending 9+ years guiding physical products to the global marketplace, I've moved my attention to solving UX problems for others while working with teams of varying sizes and time zones along the way. That second paragraph is really solid. I would hold on to that. Pull that out, put that off to the side. That's gold. The intro paragraph here, it's definitely not as strong as the second one. So I want to go back. I want to come back to that in a second. We're going to go over to I don't know as much about NICE, so we're going to go over to look at NICE and see how we can align this. I love people, and I rely heavily on the. I would adjust that paragraph just like the other one. I would say that I highly value conversations with our end users um, as a leading contributor in my design of simple and intuitive products. Highly usable is the same thing as simple and intuitive, except I think simple and intuitive is a better way of saying highly usable. Um, I'm really excited about this opportunity. Is it possible to discuss this position further this week? You have officially, well, it's interesting. You have time. You've like time stamped it, but it's evergreen, and this is smarter. What you've done here is smarter than what was going on in the SodaStream thing. In that, you said this week. You could have said this month. You didn't say November. You didn't say Thanksgiving. You said this week. And the only way, and you've got the fall 2019. Okay, so you've been listening. We've had this discussion before about time stamping. This does give the interesting thing is fall 2019. That is time stamping because fall ends at December 21st. I might say fall winter 2019. But overall, I think that you've got the hang here. Let's look at that first question, first part, and let's look at the actual job. So define. So this is nice. UX strategist. Define a global UX strategy for evolving, rapidly changing product. Provide long-term UX guidelines, product tone. Identify usability testing, research opportunities. Define the scope and prioritize them together with product. Provide strategic insights, methods, goals. Conduct independent research, collect and analyze results, and generate insights that will help shape the product team. That will shape how the product team thinks about medium long-term product strategy. Collaborate and work closely with PMs. Ready to synchronize the working hours with different non-overlapping time zone. I'm not sure what they mean by that. So the requirements: experience conducting research for global products. That's preferred qualifications. I think you've got that with this. This is really set up for you to apply with Silicandy, and this is what and it's why I you were getting that response earlier where they said the portfolio is great, but you don't have enough experience. You have a lot of experience. Silicandy is like the piece de resistance of product experience because it was your product. You were trying to get it into big box stores. It gave you so much more than just, hey, I made a web page and I threw it up on Zulily or whatever. So I think getting that into the mix and being able to talk about it and hit it on the head and saying that, yeah, I did that and now I know UX. This feels right. So the question is, if that feels right, what's this intro? And this is, I guess I got to come back here because I just don't know a lot about NICE. Although I see that they've got a fair number of jobs. So that is oddly enough nice. I don't know if the naturally nice person thing. I'm Rebecca, a UX designer with a strong background in business and passion for customer service. I think that's fine. I think the naturally nice person thing, like I'm assuming you're naturally nice. Why would you have to tell me that? I don't assume people coming in are just evil. So I'd probably lose that. I know it's like a word play thing, but the more important thing is I have a strong background in business and a passion for customer service. Nice is at the nice is I love the work that Nice is doing. Um, so it could be like, I'm Rebecca, a UX designer with a strong background in business, with a passion for customer service, and I love the work that Nice is doing. Nice is focusing on solving real problems um, that most management and that most management products miss. Or actually, you could say, Nice is focusing on solving real problems by taking the incredible load off of our employees and lowering the stress so they can focus on the work they were hired to do. I I think that like all the stuff is there. It's just, I'm not necessarily concerned with employee management as a hot industry right now. I'm concerned with, do you know enough about Nice? And you know say that passion for customer service, strong background in business. I really love what Nice is doing because you're solving a real problem. Our workers are stressed out, and most management products incentivize the wrong thing. By not Nice avoids this issue by taking the load off that we push onto employees and lowering the stress level. Like, it's all there. I just need it to be repackaged a bit, Rebecca. Again, that second paragraph is just like, use that in every single one, because you get to talk about, hey, I've got 9 years of product experience, and then I moved into UX. Okay, so you're not a newbie. You've got you've got a decade of experience behind you. An e-commerce or a product company is going to come after you with this plus the Silicandy case study. I need us to wrap up that Silicandy case study. It doesn't even have to be perfect. It just needs to be out. So when you send these out, it's there with it. You could actually send these out now, in my opinion. Nobody's going to hit your website until probably after the weekend anyway. Also, Silicandy's in there. It's just linking to a Medium project, so I think you're fine. I think you're okay. But I definitely would say, okay, let's adjust these. Let's get these up. Let's get these out, and then let's come back soon. Let's come back soon and talk about ways that we can make sure that Silicandy is all finished. All right, so that's Rebecca. Good job overall there. And now we're down to Shane Williams. Shane Williams. It's like Red Robin. Anyway, Shane, I'm just coming up with all sorts of words. I'm just all the words. Let's check out your case study, Shane. So this is where we were yesterday. And Shane and I were talking back and forth a bit yesterday about some of the terrible code that I was writing, because I write terrible code on the fly. I'm not going to lie. And I think the issue was like how I was editing main was a problem. So if we look at this, I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Like yesterday, main was just kind of going all the way down the middle. And when I look at this wireframe, I'm going to have to break it here anyway, but I don't, because I'm going to make main into a section that just goes all the way down. Okay. And right here, and inside of that section, I'm going to have another div. And this div may, in fact, break occasionally. It definitely will have to break here because I'm going edge to edge with that background. But then I can pick it back up. So, maybe this is main content. It's not going to be main though. It's going to be, a div called main content. And, here where this is occurring, this goes wide. And I really feel like that is better. Like, so a div all the way around it from main, a div inside, a break here, a div inside, and maybe the div is wider, and we have a slightly different column structure that says, hey, I'm going to float some stuff to the outside, and then I'm going to come back and overlay that. So I think you've got options here, Shane, that I wasn't necessarily picking up on yesterday. But that's the benefit of sleep, really. But that's essentially what I'm seeing. And obviously there's this larger main div that's wrapping the whole thing. So that's my take on the direction you should consider going here. Let's go ahead and look at the code. So I'm going to pull this in. I'm going to go up. We're not in Noop. We're going to open Shane Portfolio. I'm not going to make the mistake I made yesterday. So here's Shane's Portfolio. I'm going to close down some of the stuff that we just don't need. Here's content container. That's fine. Container. All right, so again, I need to turn on text wrap so I know what I'm looking at. Problem, solution. There's the container. So let's go ahead and go live with this. And what I realize is, poor Shane, he's like, Chris, I really don't want you like breaking main up like that. And he's right. I shouldn't. If anything, I should let's come into style, and I'm gonna look for main. Main is not in there. Come back in here. So I'm gonna pull this content container off, and I'm gonna put it directly here, and I'm just gonna call this one main. And we're gonna let main just wrap everything. Whoa, yeah, thanks, Shane. So I'm gonna get status real quick, and what I'm gonna do? Thanks, boy, I almost messed up again. I'm gonna get stash, and what get stash is going to do? It's my favorite little cleaner in the world. I'm gonna get rid of everything I just did. So now when I say get status, nothing has been updated. We're back to the beginning, thankfully. So now I'll say get pull origin master. And this is why I love having the damn chat up. I mean, come on. Shane just pulled me out of the fire. Shane's like, dude, what are you doing? It's because I'm thinking resumes, and I'm thinking priority guides, and now I'm over here in code. My brain's just going in too many directions. It's a little slow, though. Goodness gracious. Shane, how big are these images, man? Yeah, I appreciate it, Shane. I do. Okay. So it pulled some stuff in. I'm always worried about, I see images with naming conventions. I'm always worried when I see names with spaces. That's less than ideal. Yeah, I didn't optimize them. So I would look out for names with spaces. And one of the reasons why is it comes down to what happens to that when in the actual URL. Let's look at that for a second, because so here we are. I'm refreshing. I'm going to click on this view image, and it's actually not doing the. I was expecting to see this sort of garbage in there, and it may actually still work, and it just corrects back to the other. But I'm worried once you get on, this browser's being really nice about it. I don't want you getting into a situation where a browser's not nice about it. So I would get rid of those spaces. I would probably come in with like underscores. I also would come in all lowercase, like that. But it's not a big deal. I just want to throw that out there. I would probably no. Yeah. Okay. I'm not really sure why that. That's interesting. Yeah, it's all there. So it's just don't save. Don't save. All right, so we're back in it. Hello, neighbor. That's really weird. Oh, it's because it's folded down. I'm like, why is that folded down? Like, what happened? Oh, it's folded. Got it. Yeah, really slow. I am so slow this morning. So here's your old nav, and that's fine. I am kind of curious where the header is. Oh, it's down here. Okay. So your header and your project hero, that's all there the same. I just want to be able to see that, so I can close it like that. So now you've got main, and yeah, so Shane went back and basically did what I was going to do, which is fine. Let's take a look at it, and let's take a look at it over here. So yeah, it looks like you've got that. The question is, how do you get in? The question is, how do you get this background in there? And the answer is, this is where you break it, and I'll show you what I mean. But this is where we're going to basically close this div. We're going to let main continue. So like main's going to hold the whole space. I still think we need to come up with that. But main's going to hold the whole space, and then when we get down here, we're going to close it. We're going to close this content div so that we can go full width with the background, and that background's going to wrap around those images. So let's take a look. So this is div class containers. This is main text. So this is the image container. All right, and the image container is here. That's main text. So the content container does close, and then the content container comes back, and then we've got. Oh, I gotta get my wrap on. All right, so yeah, this is main text again. And then you've got another image container. The thing that I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to protect main while also allowing this div to go all the way across. I want to take a look at main though. Okay, so main, you don't have anything on it, which is fine. Content container. Let's look at image container, because if image container is doing what I think it needs to do, it might just be coming back with like a div around a div around the image. But let's take a look at this inspect element. Okay, so image container, if I go, for whatever reason, I say background color is red. Okay, that's one of the two. So it looks like image container. I'm not sure why image container would only apply to one of them. That's really weird. This appears to be a image inside of another image. I'm not entirely sure if that's necessary. That's interesting. I want to go look at these images really quick, Shane, so I can get a better sense of what I'm looking at. So this has a transparent. Oh, okay. This old landing page does not have a transparency on it, which is why I can't put a color behind it. So we need to get this adjusted. Otherwise, because what I was looking at doing is I was looking at this image container, and I was thinking to myself, well, if I just take image container and I say padding is 20 or 200 pixels, that makes it really small. But when I come back in and I say background red, like the whole background is red. Okay. But it's not going quite to the edge because I have this width of 96 on. So I have to adjust the image container to be all the way across. And then if I want to, and the padding is controlling it. Like, you can see on this other div, like the green is there, but the image has a white background on it. So that's why this design is going to have, well, if I can find my way back to Figma. Hello, Figma. Whoa, man. Sorry, I thought my house is going to blow. The big bad wolf is literally outside my door. So this image, as it stands right now, Shane, I can't put this background behind it. Yeah, okay, so you know what's going on, okay? What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to adjust it so that all you have to do is pull in the new image, and then we will move forward. But I'm going to adjust it so that we have this color in the background, and this design basically is set up. So let's get that part of it done, and then you can carry on after that. So but I am happy to see that, like, you adjusted the code without having me jump in. That was super cool. So let's image container background red. It says width. So if I go with 100%, that's great. But I need the image I need the images to be contained. And how I'm going to suggest that we do that is I'm going to suggest that we wrap. So we have image container here. And I realize the issue that I'm about to run into, but I'm going to go with it anyway. So large one side by side, two large side by side. I'm going to need that all to reside within a content container. And then I'm going to pull this in. So the images are inside of a content container, which is inside the image container. That image container has an issue mainly because this image container is also, this is this is an image container that does something slightly different. And I don't want this image container. So I might call this one, instead of image container, image background. Image, oh yes, I know what I'll do. Image background, and then this will be image container. Okay? And what this is going to allow it to do is image container is actually going to come out the same width, but I need a background on this, and that background needs to go edge to edge. So I'm going to go into our styles. I'll look for image. So there's image container. I need dot image background. I'm just going to pick an ugly color, color red, width 100%, and let's see what we got here. Didn't take. I bet it's because that's image background hyphen, image background hyphen. Let's take a look at it here. Inspect element. Here's image background. Oh, color red. I need background color red. Sorry. Save it. And now that's going full width, which is that's what we're looking for. I do want some padding around it. It looks like maybe you're getting some padding from maybe the image. Yeah, so the image classes have some padding around them. I'm going to use image background to give me some padding to the top. So I'll say something like, padding top 100 pixels or 50 pixels, whatever it is that you need to have. But that's going to give you some background. Then you're going to need to come back and add some padding here. You could also say, this is image background. I could also come in and say, all right, so margin bottom 50 pixels, and that's going to push this background away. So again, paddings to the inside, margins to the outside. That's why those two things are doing very similar but different things. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to actually go get the real color, but before I do that, I'm going to say padding top 50 pixels, margin bottom 50 pixels, and I will edit that appropriately, flipping it around. So there's that. Let's go get the real. Let's go get like the real hex code here from your Figma file. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Of course it is. Of course it is. Let's break that. There we go. Save that, and then yeah, there it be. So I need you to re-import that image, obviously, but this definitely is coming along, and by reusing image content, that keeps these things at the same width as you move down, and then your measure keeps coming back in. But you can see how much better that is than that. Yeah, so, and then obviously you've got some more stuff to add on, but I think we're now beginning to get the shape of the case study. So I think you're in a good spot. Let's re-import it. Maybe edit that image down, and then and let's get some more content in here. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that's it for the feedback loop. Actually, it's not it for the feedback loop. I'm gonna do this before I make another major mistake. I'm gonna push that up so Shane has it. Hey, Chris, how about spelling master correctly? All right, Git Push Origin Master, and Shane, that's to you. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Chris, Courtney, New Pragmatic, happy Thanksgiving. I'll be checking the feedback loop, new Discord channel. No problem, Shane. I'll be checking the New Pragmatic Discord channel over the holiday. So while I won't be recording a feedback loop on Thursday or Friday, I definitely will be giving feedback. So keep submitting work if you have time. Otherwise, enjoy time with your friends, your family, whatever it is that you want to do. Take this time to reflect on the year and just the growth that you've experienced. And if this happens to be a time where you're pushing through, I will be checking in and watching to make sure you're getting the feedback that you need when you need it. Thanks a lot for your time this morning. I'm Chris Courtney, and I will see you all again on Monday. See ya.